All right, so now we're gonna talk about what happens when the hair is over shampooed. So I know it seems kind of odd. You're thinking like, well, if you just shampoo frequently, you're making the hair extra clean. Not quite. Just like if you under shampoo, like I mentioned before, you're gonna get a scalp infection, you'll get a buildup of bacteria, maybe even hair loss, a fungal infection. On the flip side, if you're too clean with your hair and you overstrip the hair, excessive shampooing is gonna strip the hair of the natural oil, so you're gonna lose out on that good conditioning oil that you have naturally. In addition, you also may cause an oily scalp if you over shampoo to become more oily, because the scalp will be dry and the body's gonna say, oh, well, we need more oil, and they'll send more oil up through the oil glands. So that's why you wanna find a balance. You don't wanna under shampoo and you don't wanna over shampoo. So now comes the important point of selecting the proper shampoo. They give you a good talk on there about the importance of using good psychology skills, being able to talk to your client, good people skills. I'll say one thing, that back in the day, it was easy to get professional products. They weren't as priced like they are now. Now, with different brands, some shampoos can run up to $30, $40 or more, even up to $60. Some brands are very expensive. And the client may not have the budget, so it's very important to remember that if a client says, no, I'll just get something else, you have to respect that, because the client may not be able to afford that. That's why they're coming to you for an expensive service. But it's important to gently remind them that, hey, if you purchase our products or we have a sale, something like that might work. You also want to let the client know that what they're getting at the drugstore or on Amazon may not be real. Divergence is a real thing, and what that means is that through illegal means, companies like drugstores, which are not licensed to sell certain products, other professional beauty suppliers such as Ulta Beauty are licensed. They have a salon in the store, and that's how they're able to get around that. But basic drugstores are not supposed to have products in them. So what happens is, these companies got a hold of the professional product, and you don't know if it's been expired, tampered with, or any of that. I remember I was shopping at a local grocery store, and they had Redken in the store, and I remember seeing a bottle. The bottle was so old that I remember 10 years ago, Redken had a product called Blonde Glam. That's been like well over 10 years discontinued. That was still there. When I smelled it, it smelled like pretty funky, and it didn't even smell like it. So you might get something that's not even the right ingredient. If you do your own research on divergence, there's news reports on this, and they've actually tested a bottle, and they thought that it was the real shampoo. They did a bacterial sample, and the bottle had so much bacteria in it that could have been lethal to someone that had an autoimmune disorder, or was going through chemotherapy, or had a scalp cut, because that would have led to a major infection. So those things are always important to talk to a client about if they ever say it. You never want to be forceful or be rude to a client because they don't agree with you. They might learn on their own time. It's like the whole example of a hot stove. Person touches the stove, they get burned, they'll never do it again. That might be the case with your client if you have someone who's very resistant or doesn't understand why you need professional products. You also want to choose a shampoo that's appropriate for the client's hair type and texture. You don't want to use drying shampoo or anti-dandruff shampoo in someone who has curly hair, because that will dry it out. You don't want to use abrasive shampoos if the client has damaged hair or chemically distressed hair. If you do really strong shampoo on someone with color treated hair, you can actually strip the color right out, and then the client will complain that their color is faded. You also want to be able to retail your at-home products, because that can support the style that you've given the client and the color you've given the client. So an example is reds. Red fades the quickest. So if you're selling products that help to remove mineral buildup, those products tend to be a little bit cheaper. You can sell the client on that and say, like, look, please use a shampoo because you have hard water. Some companies will sell water testing kits, and you're able to test the client's water at home, or give it to the client to take home, and they'll give you the results. Stuff like that is really good visuals to help the client understand why you need these products. So then we segue into the pH scale, which I've said before is the most important. As we learned, 0 to 6 is acidic. A perfect pH of 7 is neutral. Anything from 7.1 to 14 is going to be alkaline. So pH scale is very important. A shampoo that is acidic will have a pH ranging from 0 to 6.9, although I highly doubt a shampoo would ever be a pH of 0, because that would be like pouring battery acid on your head. Most shampoos will be close to your body's pH of around a pH of 5. A pH that's alkaline will have a pH ranging from 7.1 or higher. The more alkaline the shampoo, the stronger and harsher it is. A higher pH shampoo can leave the hair dry, brittle, and porous. A high pH shampoo can cause fading in color-treated hair. A slightly acidic shampoo can more closely match the ideal pH of the hair. And they give you a whole list of tips that it's important to read through. 7 tips for a great shampoo. You want to make sure you massage well, ask the client how the water feels. You don't want the water to get on a client's face, because if the client is a female and she's wearing makeup, it can upset her if you take that off. I've had a lot of students actually make jokes that this section is a little dated because it is a little dramatic. The hardest part of the shampoo is the neck, and I will attest to that. It's very hard to get the neck area when you're shampooing. So typically I find if you take 2 hands and you're very careful and very quick, you can get the water underneath it. You also want to make sure they're all the way in the bowl so the water doesn't spray and get them all wet from their shirt down to their legs. You don't want to drench a towel because that will feel uncomfortable. When blotting the hair after a shampoo, be careful not to rub the face because you can take off someone's makeup that way. You will notice that your clients might say, don't stop, you can do that for hours. That's usually how you know you're getting good at shampooing. We also have to know now the chemistry of water. Water is one of the most abundant chemicals. It's one of the most important chemicals in beauty because water makes up the majority of our products. It's the most abundant and important element on Earth. They call it the universal solvent because it's capable of dissolving more substances than any known solvent known to science. Fresh water from lakes and streams is purified by sedimentation, which is the matter sinking to the bottom, and filtration, which is water passing through a porous surface, such as a filter paper or charcoal, to remove suspended clay, sand, and organic material. That will be on your exam, so know that. Before water enters public pipelines, a small amount of chlorine is added to kill bacteria. Boiling water at a temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit, also known as 100 degrees Celsius, will also destroy most microbes. Water can be further treated by distillation, a process of heating water so that it becomes a vapor and condensing the purified vapor so it collects as a liquid. Distillation is often used in the manufacturing of cosmetics. Make sure you know that. Water is very important for cosmetology because think about, without water we couldn't shampoo the hair, we couldn't rinse out color, we couldn't make products. Without water we wouldn't have the science that we have today. So that should make you appreciate it a little bit more. You will be able to, another important thing with water is that know that water can be hard or soft, and in the salon you'll be able to tell that. You can feel the hair with hard water. Hard water, and I'll actually give you guys the definitions that you'll need to know for your test. Soft water is defined as rainwater or chemically softened water that contains only a small amount of minerals and therefore allows soap and shampoo to lather freely. Hard water is well water and contains minerals that reduce the ability of soap or shampoo to lather. Hard water may also change the results of hair coloring service. However, a water treatment process can soften hard water. It's very important because with soft water is something that you want. It's something that we strive for. Majority of homes do not have soft water. To an extent, we do have a lot of mineral buildup. Minerals can range in anything from chlorine to copper to iron, things like that, and they will impact your colors. They can cause your reds to fade the quickest because those copper molecules go in there and they bump out the color. They can also build up in the hair, and one thing that's very important we talk about in the hair and texture chapter is that a lot of chemicals are reactive to metals. So what happens is you have a client with a heavy mineral buildup. Let's say they've never colored your hair. I'm gonna make you guys all research this. Go to Coastline Education and search up Lisa Kelly. She's an expert witness and she specializes in color disasters gone wrong, and they all sound the same. Majority of them are when the stylist doesn't analyze the hair, the clients never colored the hair, and they have mineral buildup. You have mineral buildup and you put, let's say, a bleach with a very high developer on it, and you put them under heat, which is even worse. What can happen is that bleach will react with the minerals and cause a reaction. You can get anything from irritation to extreme breakage, and in extreme cases, you can actually destroy chemically the skin, causing a burn, which will require skin grafts. That can also cause you to lose your license. So it's very important to be aware of mineral buildup. You can even feel it. It might feel coated, it might have a discoloration on it, and that's why mineral removing treatments, which Malibu C is the most common one, is able to go in there and chelate the hair. It'll go in there and break up those minerals and get all the minerals out of the hair. I'm going to cover this when we talk about the shampoos, but just to give you guys a heads up that chelators and clarifiers are not the same thing. The book tells you that. The book is wrong with that. And I'm going to say it straight up. It's very important to be aware of that because chelators are acidic and clarifying shampoos are alkaline. You cannot have them both in the same thing because if you mix an alkaline and an acid, you get a neutral. So, you can also get water testing kits. The book recommends testing your water in the salon and at home. You can get that through a company or from a health food store. You can test the salon water. That's important because you want to know what the water is in the salon. But if you have a special, they make special shampoo heads that have like these special balls in there that will treat the water, so it protects the water. It prevents the water from getting too hard. It actually treats it as the water comes out of it. Now we're going to talk briefly about the chemistry of shampoo. It's important to know that because a lot of shampoos have the same basic ingredients, and then the rest of them is just a small amount of botanical ingredients that will make a shampoo suitable for straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair. Some may add color in it for refreshing the hair color and all that good stuff. It's only a small difference. The book claims that makes the shampoo better for one hair versus another hair. Generally, it's not just plain water, but shampoos will use purified or deionized water. Water makes up the majority of a shampoo. Deionized water is defined as water that has impurities such as calcium, magnesium, and other metal ions that would make a product unstable removed. Water is usually the first ingredient listed, which indicates shampoo contains more water than anything. So this is where the lesson comes in on reading ingredients. Look at the back of your product. A lot of ingredients will say water and then it will go on the list. That's called descending order. What that means is that as you go down on the list, it's less and less and less of the ingredient. So shampoo is of course mostly water because it's liquid and it's easier to spread. And there's other ingredients in there that can help the hair health. The next ingredient in shampoos that's the most common is called this primary surfactant or base detergent. So surfactants are defined as cleansers or the surface active ingredients. A surfactant molecule has two ends, a hydrophilic end or water-loving head and a lipophilic or oil-loving tail. So you have a hydrophilic head and a lipophilic tail. During the shampoo process, the hydrophilic head attracts water and the lipophilic tail attracts oil. This creates a push-pull process that causes the oils, dirt, and deposits to roll up into little balls that can be lifted off in the water and rinsed from the hair. In layman's terms, it makes those little mishals, so it's these little balls that come in and they attract the oil and they strip it off the hair. It works very similar to how the micellar water works that cleans your face off of oil and debris, and that's what happens to your hair. Other ingredients are added to the base surfactant to create a variety of shampoo formulas. One ingredient is moisturizers, which is a product that is formulated to add moistures to dry hair or promote the retention of moisture. It is a common additive along with oil, protein, and a preservative, foam enhancer, and perfume. Some shampoos are now doing perfume-free because clients may be sensitive, but you need to have some kind of preservative, which may be a salt or something in there, because if you didn't, the shampoo would go spoiled quickly. Also want to read the back to see the how long it lasts for. It gives you a little jar logo with the number written in there. It may last for 12 months, which will be a 12M, or it'll say 1Y, which means 1 year. You also want to know that there's different types of shampoos. Shampoos are the most widely purchased of all hair care products. Consumer studies show the fastest growth in items in the shampoo market are products that are retailed through professional salons. Nowadays, it's very difficult because with Amazon, eBay, things like that, people are buying it online. So you just really want to become familiar. There are shampoos for dry, oily, fine, coarse, limp, lightened, permed, relaxed, or color-treated and chemically treated hair. There are shampoos that deposit a small amount of color to hair, those that cleanse the hair of styling products, build up mineral deposits, and so on and so forth. It's very important that you know which is which. So now that you're familiar with pH, we're going to talk about some of the specialized shampoos out there. They are pH balanced shampoos. So a pH balanced shampoo is balanced to the pH of skin and hair, which is going to be around a 4.5 to a 5.5. Most shampoos are pH balanced by the addition of citric, lactic, or phosphoric acid. Many experts believe that an acid pH of 4.5 to 5.5 is essential from preventing excess dryness and hair damage during the cleaning process. Shampoos that are pH balanced help to close the hair cuticle and are recommended for hair that has been colored or lightened. It's also where you'll find your chelating shampoo, so your Malibu Sea Hard Water Wellness would fall under that. It will go in there and it will rinse the hair, and it's acidic in pH so the hair feels super soft after, it doesn't feel dry and brittle. Now, one of the most famous shampoos that we'll know about in the salon, it's what clients always tend to gravitate to. It's the conditioning shampoo, also known as the moisturizing shampoo. This is designed to make the hair appear smooth and shiny and to improve the manageability of hair. Protein and biotin are just two examples of conditioning agents that boost the shampoo so they can meet the current grooming needs. These conditioning agents restore moisture and elasticity, strengthen the hair shaft, and add volume. They're also non-stripping, and non-stripping means that they do not remove any artificial color from the hair. If you use a shampoo that's non-stripping, you're going to extend the life of the color. If you use a shampoo that's stripping, it's going to fade the color. They have medicated shampoos, which will contain special ingredients that are effective at reducing dandruff or other scalp conditions. Some medicated shampoos have to be prescribed by a physician. They can be quite strong and could affect the color of color-treated hair or lightened hair. In some cases, the shampoo must remain on the scalp for a long period of time than other shampoos for the active ingredient to work. Always read and follow the manufacturer's instructions. This is where I disagree with in the book, where it says a clarifying shampoo is the same as a chelator. It's not, but know that a clarifying shampoo contains an active chelating ingredient that binds to metals such as iron, copper, and removes them from the hair, as well as an equalizing agent that enriches hair, helping retain moisture and makes the hair more manageable. Clarifying shampoo should be used when a buildup is evident after swimming and prior to all chemical services. Balancing shampoo. For oily hair and scalp, balancing shampoo will wash away excess oil while protecting the hair from drying out. Before we talk about the next type of shampoo, which is dry shampoo, and that's always a funky area, I just want to have you guys read that Did You Know box. It's just so interesting. It talks about how in the 1960s, Jerry Redding, who was one of the co-founders of Redken, revolutionized the industry by being the first to market pH-balanced shampoos. He went around the country staging demonstrations that showed how acidic shampoos outperformed alkaline shampoos. When Redding dipped a piece of litmus paper into a shampoo, it would come up glowing orange, pink, or gold. This litmus test on his competitor's product would come up murky purple or black. Most cosmetic chemists today agree that low pH is good for all hair types, especially chemically treated hair. So dry shampoo, this is what a lot of people were using for the last few years. I know it was a big trend a few years ago, but it's been around for a while. They tend to be really good for people that don't want to wash their hair frequently. The book gives the example of an elderly client, even on some special needs clients, because it's easier for them to sit and you can spray it on, comb it through. But dry shampoo, if you use too much of it, it's not good, because typically what they'll say is if you've used it 3 times, you want to then shampoo your hair physically, or if your hair feels like it has a buildup, then you want to shampoo it. That's also a very personal thing. It's important to use a dry shampoo in those cases. They also give the example of elderly clients, because for elderly clients it can hurt the back of the neck if they're shampooing their hair. A dry shampoo is also known as a powder shampoo, which cleanses the hair without the use of soap and water. The powder picks up the dirts and oils you brush out or comb through the hair. It also adds volume to the hair. You want to follow the manufacturer's instructions and never give a dry shampoo before performing a chemical service. The reason being is that dry shampoos may contain some metals, and if you have metal that's sprayed on the hair, it can react violently and cause hair breakage or an extreme reaction. You can apply the dry shampoo right at the stylist station with the client draped for a chemical service. With the dry shampoo, when you're applying it, typically you're just going to drape the client, shampoo that with the dry shampoo, and then style the hair and then send them out. That's really not common. Normally it's something they'll do at home. Usually you'll apply the dry shampoo right to the scalp, and then you'll brush it thoroughly with a natural bristle brush to remove the oil and dirt. And that's what we go through with the dry shampoo. I'm going to stop here because I know we've been on for 17 minutes, so take your 5-minute break, and I'm going to pick up on color enhancing shampoos and shampoos for wigs and hair pieces, and then we should be able to finish the chapter from there.